About 20 years ago, a book was published that predicted what the Jewish world would look like in the year 2075. And a lot of that book was gloom and doom. Based on statistics, based on the reality, it didn't look good for the Jewish people. That was the summary of it. And when I read it, it was amusing a little bit to me, because in this week's portion that we're reading, Bechukotai, there is a section where God tells the Jewish people that if they listen and they uphold the covenant that He made with us, all will be good. He'll bless us with rain and with food and with whatever we need. But if not, He goes on to list a whole list of terrible events, terrible things that will happen to us. It's like a curse. But He ends off that section with a promise. He says, "But I will remember the covenant I made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I will bring the Jewish people back to the land of Israel." In other words, God is telling us no matter what the Jewish people are put through, and we've been through a lot, it'll always end off good. He will take care of us. So therefore, all these predictions and all these, what's going to be with the Jewish people, and it looks so terrible, and our numbers are dwindling, and where we're going to be in 100 years, a lot of that is superfluous. What I would worry about is something else. You see, these curses appear once again in the book of Deuteronomy, but with a number of differences. You see, over there, that all the curses are written in the singular. In our portion, it's written in the plural. That's one difference. The second difference is that while the curses in our portion end off with a promise that God will remember the covenant of Abraham, basically that we're going to be okay, in the book of the Deuteronomy, it doesn't end off with that promise. No such promise is made. And I wondered about this, and I like to suggest that the difference is, in this portion, He's talking to the Jewish people as a whole. In Deuteronomy, He's talking to you as an individual. You see, the Jewish people will be here in 2075, in 2175, and in 5075. We'll always be here. No problem. V'zacharti, God will remember the covenant. He'll always take care of us. The question that we have to ask, and is much more important, is, will my family be Jewish in 100 years? Will my line, will my children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren remain Jewish in 100 years? What will the Spalter family, what will the Weiss family, what will the Goldberg family, what will the Greenberg family look like in 2075? Or whatever family name you have. Think about that. What will my family look like in 75 years from now? Or in 50 years from now? Or in 100 years from now? That is the big question. See, when God talks to us as individuals, He makes no promise. Because if your family will be here in 100 years from now as Jews, that is only up to you. For that, we have to be very careful to educate our children what it means to be a Jew, to make sure that Shabbos is precious by them, and to make sure that tefillin and kashrut and basically Judaism is precious to them. You see, as a whole, we'll always be here. As an individual, that's a very different story. That only you can guarantee. See, when God talks to the individual, He doesn't say a promise that you will always be here. We're not sure about that. And indeed, many families have been lost to assimilation. They're just not here anymore. That's what we should think about. Not the Jewish people as a whole, the Jewish people as an individual. Think about your family, what it will look like in 75 years from now. Will someone be making a Seder in your family in 75 years? Or how many will make a Seder? How many of your line will continue that golden chain, the golden link in this tremendous chain of Jewish continuity? Only you can answer that. I want to wish you a good Shabbos, and may God bless you with all the blessings that are in these portions. And your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren should give you nachas, so that by the year 2075 or 2100, whenever it may be, the Goldbergs, Greenbergs, and Weisses, and whoever, whatever your last name is fully intact. Shabbat Shalom.